The barn, 400 meters deep down in the woods, buried behind foliage and terrain. From the main house, there is zero line of sight. And hey folks, welcome back to Fast Cabling. Now let's take a look at this stunning but seriously disconnected property. So our client here got Starlink. It's been a game changer for the main house. But what about the small office that's 20 meters, the workshop that's 150 meters away, and the barn all the way back in the wood that's 400 meters away? Now running fiber out here, prohibitively expensive. Digging trenches, a nightmare. So we're going on a wireless mission. We're going to stretch this single Starlink connection across the entire property. And we're going to do it without digging and trenching. And this is the magic of wireless bridging. So at its core, a wireless bridge is like an invisible Ethernet cable. You have two radios with the focused directional antennas. They lock eyes, create a tight link, and share a network. But the golden rule is they need to have a clear line of sight between each other. And think of it like trying to have a whisper conversation with someone across a field. If you can see them, it's much easier. But if a tree is in the way, you're out of luck. First up, the easy wins. Let's talk about the small office that's just nearby the main house. For a short hop like this, 20 meters, sometimes a simple Ethernet cable run is possible. But for true wireless freedom, we can also put a bridge on each building. They can see each other perfectly. It's quick setup, and boom, the office is done. And building 2 is our workshop. This is the classic perfect scenario for point-to-point wireless bridge setup. 150 meters with a clear line of sight. So we can mount a weatherproof radio on each roof, point them at each other and align them. And modern systems make that surprisingly simple because many have alignment ads right on the bridge. I'll show it to you later. And once they handshake, it's a rock-solid, high-bandwidth pipe. So now we have 2 downs. And now for the real challenge. The barn, 400 meters deep down in the woods, buried behind foliage and terrain. From the main house, there is zero line of sight. And this is where most DIY projects fail. You may get a flicker of signal, but it will suffer from a constant dropout, signal fade, and multipath interference where the signal bounces off trees and confuses itself. So a direct bridge there just won't work. But here's the thing. Luckily, the barn can see the workshop. So what if we use the workshop not just as a client, but as a relay and build a wireless back-to-back bridge network? So then we'll have 2 dedicated bridge radios on the workshop roof. The first one talks back to the main house, and the second is aimed directly at the barn. And that way, this creates a 2-hop relay. Now without saying, let's build this whole thing together. So now let's pretend we're at the main house. This is the Starlink, and we're going to connect it to our first wireless bridge. But since Starlink doesn't have an Ethernet port, that's why we need to add this Ethernet adapter. So we can use an Ethernet cable connected directly to the bridge. And this is the LAN port of our injector. Because our bridge is powered by PoE, so we need this injector here. Now by plugging in an Ethernet cable, we're sending both power and data to our first bridge here. And this one here is the PoE port, so make sure you plug it into the right one. After we plug it in, we can see we are getting the power and the data, and make sure you face it directly to our workshop, which is the second wireless bridge here. The second wireless bridge is going to power by PoE as well. Again, an Ethernet cable to the PoE port. And this cable goes directly to our WebSmart PoE switch. And now we are going to mount our second pair of the wireless bridge so we can set up a back-to-back wireless backbone. And here we have our mounting tool. We're going to mount it on the demonstration board. Let's get one more here. All right, tighten it. Now we are going to mount our second pair wireless bridge. There's a hoop here. We can just pull it through this mounting rack. Then use a screwdriver to tighten it. It's pretty simple. And our wireless bridges are weatherproof, so it's perfect for outdoor environment. All right, we're set and done. Now we are going to use an Ethernet cable to connect both wireless bridges together inside this workshop, and this creates a two-hop relay. The signal from the house hits our first workshop radio and then passes through the cable to the second radio here, which then beams it through the only clear path straight to the barn. But since we're using an PoE switch here, so I'm going to connect the Ethernet cable directly to the PoE port here and back to our WebSmart PoE switch. So instead of connecting both bridges using an Ethernet cable, now we can connect them both to our PoE switch to be the central hub here. So Power over Ethernet does three critical jobs here. First, it powers both wireless bridges on this roof remotely from inside. Second, it acts as the network hub, connecting the two bridges linked together. And third, it can now supply other devices in the workshop like this wireless access point here for local Wi-Fi or even future security cameras. So it's the brain and power plant of the relay knot. Now I'm going to connect this Ethernet cable, which is connecting to the wireless access point here. So here at the workshop, we're done. And let's move on to our barn here. Finally, we have the last wireless bridge connecting to an Ethernet cable and again to our PoE switch here and another wireless access point. Now this is the installation magic. We use highly directional antenna for each link, and for this long 400 meters wooded hub, we need that focus signal to punch through as much as possible. Alignment is the key because this antenna typically have a beam width of less than 30 degrees, so you have to get to be precise. And with auto negotiating radio, once they're pointed and power, the configuration is often zero touch. And we can see on here we have the alignment signal, so we can adjust the wireless bridge by looking at this here. So now we can see the completed setup connecting from the main house Starlink to the workshop and finally to the barn. So there you have it. From one Starlink dish to two remote buildings, using wireless bridges and some clever network topology, we tackle clear line of sight and we solve the impossible link with a two-hop relay. So it's a powerful way to conquer distance and terrain. Now if you got a tricky connectivity puzzle, please let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more projects that push networks to the limits. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you in our next one.